Let's play a game. All right. On the count of three, name your favorite dinosaur. Don't even think about it. Just name it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor. What?
Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
This is the Karate in the Garage podcast with Mason Merrill and Weston Toth. Welcome back to another edition of the Karate in the Garage podcast. Yes, we are back. I'm your host, Mason Merrill, and with me again is Weston Toth. How you doing today, Weston?
I am doing fine and dandy. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. It feels good to be back here. It seems like we haven't been on the airwaves for a long time.
Yeah, for sure, man. The holiday season of just everyone traveling and being out of town and just trying to get back in the swing of things. Good Lord.
Yeah, we got to see each other for a little bit while we were both out of town. That was nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was super, super good to see you. And also, by the way, thank you so much for my gifts. Mason bought me a couple little gifts because he knows I love to drink tea and coffee. He got me some nice little coffee cups or some teacups, really, and then a little juicer. So thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. It was the least we could do after we came down there and saw you guys last summer, and you guys were very hospitable. So anyway.
Good.
Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, I had a good time. Had a good time in Georgia. The wedding was fun. Our friends got married, so.
Yeah, it was in normal Ricky, which is our friend's wedding. He got married pretty much the last out of all of us, so he had to go out with a bang. It was a big it was a really pretty big wedding. Had people from all over the country there, so it was fun getting all the lads back together.
Yeah, it's really funny. He's just like a happy married man now, like posting on social media and stuff, like he's just so happy. He's posting like food his wife's making and playing Uno at night and stuff. It's funny.
Yep.
Oh, the day. Yeah. Before long, he'll just be, an old married man like the rest of us.
Yeah. That's like that newness is like a distant memory for us because I'm coming up on 6 years and you're coming up on 4?
5 years.
5? Yeah, you were just a little after me.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
And you're coming up on your second kid real quick as well.
5 years and 2 kids, man. That's awesome.
Ooh, what happened to us?
So we're about 7 weeks away from the baby. So Weston might be doing some podcasts with our friend Spencer, just like by himself. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, man, there's nothing more therapeutic than sitting in a dark room by yourself talking.
Yeah, just make a little make tea or maybe some whiskey or something and just have a good time.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, we didn't really announce what game we were going to talk about at all. I haven't been just like social media dark since we last parted on this podcast, but we are talking about Mortal Kombat, the original for Sega Genesis today.
Yes, so this game was developed, or it came out in 1992 from Midway. They were the developer and the publisher. It was a arcade or platform, like basically it's an arcade style fighting game up to 2 players, and it was something.
Yeah, it was something, that's for sure. I mean, I guess we'll get into it, but this was a hard one for me to play to really feel good about.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Mason were before the podcast. We were just talking a little bit about it, and the accolades that this game really had when it came out. I'm just looking at some of the reviews. I mean, 5 out of 5s, 8.25 out of 10, 80. Basically 8.5, 5.5. I mean, this game, people love this game when it came out, but
I know. Yeah, 8 out of 10 on IGN. Just incredible, man. It's like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling the love on it. And, we always say for the time, was it good? And I just I didn't feel a whole lot from it, but let's just kind of break it down. So there wasn't any modes. It was just like one, you select your fighter and you go through like 8 or 9 fights, right?
Yeah. It's a tournament. Basically. That's the plot of the game.
Yeah. So no story mode, just straight tournament, and you fight, and there's 3 buttons and you can do some moves, but it's pretty anticlimactic from there.
Yeah, so that there's a couple more buttons, I guess, because there's three kicks and 3 punches if you had it like completely mapped out, and then a block as well. But essentially it was, you have like a high, medium, and low kick, high, medium, low punch, a block, right. And then you could kind of do a couple of things with your like if you did the right combination. Some of them had like projectiles, but it was pretty kind of hard to pull off. It wasn't super easily mapped out because I got up all the old controls that someone who played this game a lot would have known, and they weren't really easy to come off. Probably the only thing that this game did than other fighting games was it was one of the first games to like iterate air combos. So like you could knock someone up in the air and then do a combo while you're in the air, but it wasn't the easiest thing to pull off, and the input wasn't super strong with me as well. So I don't know. Yeah. Did you think it was very responsive, or?
I did. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either.
Yeah. I know. So we played a couple other retro fighting games on this podcast already, and for instance, like we were just talking about that we did the Power Rangers one, and that game was so much better than this game.
Yeah, just graphic wise, and I guess they were kind of like paving the way for like a kind of like making it look more real as far as the sprites,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they did that like for 1992. This game looked more realistic, and that's actually there's some controversy around that because it was one of the first realistically violent games.
Yeah, that's right.
But I didn't even though it kind of looked real. I'd rather a game have a better art style than be realistic. And
yeah, I totally agree with that.
So especially it just didn't. I mean, it was like, yeah, there was the characters were modeled off of after real people or whatever, real models. They looked realistic, but it was violent, but it looked for its time probably very, very violent, and that I'm sure attracts some people. It didn't. I mean, that's something even today, and we'll get into that with the newest one. It doesn't attract me, but I'm sure to some people that was nice. They want to be realistic, but
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so as you were saying, it could get a little bit of controversy on how it was at the time. I mean, it's kind of funny thinking about where we are in the timeline now with with violent video games and things like that. So this was nothing compared to any of that.
Yeah, so I said before the concept of juggling. This is a thing in new fighting games as well, where you knock someone up into the air and you follow up with combinations, and then basically like the person in the air can't do anything, and if you do it correctly and time it, that does a lot of damage. But another thing that this thing did was it's like famous is after you know that you're gonna beat the guy, it'll say like finish him, and it's called like a fatality.
Yeah,
and he'll do like an execution move, and like one of the guys like he literally like rips the other person's spine out of his back, and that was, it's pretty. That was probably the most gruesome thing for 1992 out of most. I don't know any other video game that I'm trying to think that kind of had that violence in it, but for today's games, this thing would be rated, not even E.
Yeah, it would be below that.
Yeah.
So just kind of going through the game a little bit here, as far as like the presentation, how did you feel about it?
So just like you said, there was no modes. It had repetitive music, like it didn't cycle through the music at all. It had different background stages, but they were pretty kind of just basic. I thought it was, man, no, I didn't like it.
No, it was even like the drawings and the pictures, they weren't the best of the person when the character select screen.
No.
There was, let's see, there was a the game secret character was Reptile. I didn't unlock it, but
no, I didn't even get that far at all.
Yeah, it like I said, it was hard to play, and the one thing about like Sub-Zero versus Scorpion was just a costume color change, it seemed to me. I didn't really see a difference in the character themselves.
Yeah, I know they did have some differences, but I don't know the lore as much because I used to. The one thing about this game which was kind of cool, which hadn't been done, I don't know. I think I'm guessing this is one of the first ones. Is this game was really popular. The second game came out, Mortal Kombat 2, and then they actually based a movie out of it.
Yeah,
So-
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. Like, I mean, now video games or comics or whatever, it's easy to do that because they realize how much of the world likes this type of entertainment. But for 1992, like this is the first one to. I think it was 1995 when the movie came out. That was a big step for something to have such a good following and to, I don't know, to be able to get a movie at it. So that was, I don't know, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that's pretty neat that it was, like you said, kind of branding the series by doing that.
Yeah, I think that was a good kind of part about it. It pushed a lot of things, and for fighting games, like I said, it did the air motion. I mean, what's it called? The juggling, where like you'd knock them up. That was okay, but it lacked so much polishing and just like, I guess its pizzazz is it was violent, but that doesn't do anything.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. This
Yeah.
is just it's a hard one for me.
It was just hard to get through. So just kind of going down the line here, what'd you think of the graphics?
Oh yeah, I wasn't for me. I'd rather have a better art style than try to be realistic any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I like realism on for instance, all the new PS4 games that I've been playing or computer games. I like really good realistic graphics, but if you can't achieve what you want to, then art style is always better. I think the graphics were like, man, I don't know, 2 out of 5.
Yeah, for sure. It was not the best, just as far as they weren't like, I don't know. It wasn't clear on what was going on there and like the flow of how they moved. It was like a picture that changed into another picture, when they punched,
It was like
So
stop
there-
motion.
That's one thing I liked about, Street Fighter or even the Power Rangers game we played, a few episodes ago, where they would actually it would be like a comic book. It was drawn like a comic book, so they would actually move and motion and things like that. So it was just not the best. It was hard. Just going down the line here, the sound, it wasn't horrible. I wouldn't say it was like pixelated and horrible, to listen to, but it was just kind of repetitive to me.
Ooh, yeah, I think you're giving it even more than it deserves. I think the sound was rough. I didn't love it. It was again, subpar for me.
Yeah. The gameplay itself was very one-dimensional. There were some moves and things you can do which livened it up a little bit, but it was just, combat, just straight up fighter. There was no real story to it. It was just a tournament. It was, I didn't know these players at all, these characters at all. I have no clue what's going on, for a game just establishing, that. So, but I guess with the movie and stuff like that, they were able to build them out a little more, but I would have liked to see, maybe just a bio of each character or something.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of like lore surrounding it, but nothing as much in the game. Yeah, I think like we were just talking about like graphics and just screen like playability and everything too. Is even the menus where they could have put some artwork and stuff or just laid it out better, they didn't. And I'm thinking all of it's
no
subpar.
bueno for me.
Yeah.
And then lasting appeal, just I don't ever want to play this game again. I'm gonna just trash it. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm gonna trash it too. I don't want to play this game again. The only redeeming quality that I think that people love for this game is, I'd imagine, and I'm pretty sure back in the day, this was like one of the king of the arcades, like being in an arcade and challenging someone, or if someone got really good at this game and challenging your buds.
Oh yeah.
That's where the appeal was. But playing against the computer, number one, definitely a big like crap I don't know, crap dumpster, whatever, just poo poo. But
Yeah.
Besides like being in that arcade environment, playing it on like just the way that we did, or even with each other, oh man, no.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I'm back in the day at arcades and things like that. I'm sure they had tournaments and things like that, like you said, that probably made it a little more fun. And the good thing about this game, though, is it stuck around, and they were able to really make some great games after it.
Yeah.
So, through the Mortal Kombat years, they're just about to come out with Mortal Kombat 11, which is, the game just looks insane. From where this was to now.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that is very true. They had to make the first one, right? I mean, you you got to pour the foundation before you can build the city. So that's the good part is they did it, and they had something enough even in 1992 to bring it all the way to 2019. So that's a legacy. That's really cool.
Yeah, hats off to them for that.
For sure.
And I guess just being the first of its kind at the time, that's essentially probably why this game made it. If a game, kind of subpar like this came out, at this day and age, unless you're a hardcore fan of it, I don't think a game would continue, would make it like it has like this,
No, but because realistically there are games, especially on mobile, that are, relatively simple fighting games, but they have a lot they have so much more than this did even as a base. And of course, that it's look at all the years that have passed by, you expect it, but even if a more polished version of this game came out, no one would play it 100%.
Yeah, yep. And looking at other things that are kind of similar in the vein of, like, for instance, like Street Fighter, a whole new line of characters, built a brand off of it, all that kind of thing, movies, this and that, I just really think that, for what they've accomplished with Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter was just such a superior game to me,
Yeah.
So for what they've done, hats off to them. They're still making it with all that, which is cool. And
I agree.
And let's see, they had a crossover with the DC, back in the mid 2000s. That was a pretty fun game back in the day too. So just to mention there.
Yeah. So, and then again, like you said, they're up to the 11th iteration. I don't know what's coming out. I'm looking at here. Oh, April 23rd of this year. So it's coming out just in a bit. The graphics on that game look insane. Like, absolutely beautiful.
A lot of story going on there.
Yeah, like they've had all that time to develop the world and the story behind it and new characters, and that, I mean, it looks cool. I'm not going to play it because I watched the trailer and the amount of of gore and violence not to my liking at all. And plus I just don't love super highly competitive fighting games in general, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's way too. I mean, it actually is realistically over the top violence. So, but the graphics look great. They've had 10 iterations to improve the story. I know that there's diehard followers of this game for a reason. So, hey, hats off to you. But that's the next one, April 23rd, 2019. So
yeah, there's the deluxe version of this is $300.
Whoo!
Think about that.
I bet people are gonna buy it.
Oh yeah, they'll make tons of money off of it. But that is just nuts to me. Like, I was like, I'm a big fan of Kingdom Hearts, and their deluxe edition was like $150, and I'm still like, I don't think I'm gonna buy the deluxe edition. Maybe that's just me. I'm not a collector's guy. But
does it come with a controller or something, like a arcade controller?
Let me look it up. It comes with a whole box of stuff. There's like a ton of stuff, but still,
300. I mean, you're almost to an Xbox One at that point.
Yeah. Deluxe. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. I think it comes with like a scorpion head or something. Like
an actual,
yeah, here we go.
Not the character, an actual scorpion head.
Yeah, just his head. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Yeah. Hold on.
Premium edition is 100. That's normal.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to play that game. If you're into that, hey, good for you. I think the legacy's there, which is really cool. But other than that,
yeah, I won't be playing it either. I think we just kind of like on a whim, we're like, oh, let's try this game out because I kind of missed it when it came out. This whole phase of games back in the day. So
yeah, we were like 3.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I remember playing it with my cousins and things like that, but I just never really got into it. So, yeah, so the deluxe edition comes with a scale scorpion mask that's like on a pedestal type thing. The game exclusive steel case, like a little token in the game. That's it.
Wow.
For $300.
Good. Hey, if you have that kind of money to spend and you're into it, go for it, but not me. No.
No, not for me. I'm good. So. Anyway, moving on from the game, just a little rating. Let's see. Let's since like the logo's a dragon, let's give it how many dragons out of 10 for you?
Man, I'm like 3 dragons out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 2, just because it just did not interest me at all. Like, and for the era, like, we go back and say, oh, the era was so great, this and that, but like, even for the era, for me, like, I played so many more, like Street Fighter, even that Power Rangers game that was next to nothing in reviews and things like that, just was so much better for me as far as playability.
Unfortunately, we're still trying to, judge games on how they hold up. Like, are they still fun today? And there have been a lot of games that we've played that are old and they're still so fun. And this one just wasn't. It wasn't fun. So
yeah, definitely. So anyway, cool. Moving on from Mortal Kombat. We talked about Mortal Kombat 11 a little bit. So, go buy it if you're interested in it. Cool. But anything else piqued your interest this week that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so a couple things just I want to talk about, maybe just what we've been playing. I know that I haven't been playing too much other than what we talked about last time. Just, if a really good fighting game, if you are into fighting games that are not extremely violent but technical and fun, is Super Smash Ultimate. I know that you just got that as well, I think.
I did.
Yeah, what do you what's your impressions? Because I
think it's great, and I like how you just pick up. It's kind of old school in the game of picking up, and you like expect to see all these characters when you open up the character select screen, and there's like 8. So only the original that were in the first game, and you have to unlock everything from there. So that is just so much fun to me. It's so cool to just play around in the game, and then like a new fighter jumps in and unlocking some different cool things. I just got King K. Rool, and that's pretty fun and exciting.
Oh, he's so good too.
Yeah, that's one of the characters I've wanted in the game for a long time, and just to see that come to fruition is pretty sweet.
Good, man. I'm glad you're having a good time with it. I felt the exact same way, just running into it, and there's the original characters and building them, and then after you get close to all of them, man, the amount that's in there. I don't know about you, but when I played it, I felt it's like another Smash game. It feels very similar, but it's a lot more technical and it's very fluid, which I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of fun, really smooth, cool to play either on TV or on the small screen.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would rather just play a game like this on the television just because it zooms out so much. But definitely a ton of fun. I'm so much enjoying it. I have pennies on the dollar from what I've unlocked already. It's just there's so much to do in the game. So
cool. Okay, so first impressions, you would say are how high? Great.
Oh, okay. Great. I mean, just from day one, it feels like a new type of Smash game in the old school, but a new type in the sense of just fluidity and fun and just updated everything, And I really like the mode, the spirit, the story mode, I guess that it would be. That's been pretty cool too, just going around and getting the different spirits and things like that. And it kind of adds to the game too, because you can you can kind of customize your character in that sense with using the spirits and things like that.
Right. I haven't even
extra perk.
Yeah, I haven't even really delved into that. We did it a little bit just to unlock some stuff, but I'll have to
that's funny.
Go back. Whenever we play it, I've played with other people, which is to me the best way to play Smash.
Exactly, and I just haven't really had anybody to play with, so that's all I've been doing in the game. Yeah.
Now that I know that you're on, we can do a little online play. I'll be there.
Definitely, yeah, for sure. So.
Great, man. I'm glad you're enjoying that. Besides that, I haven't really delved into anything that I haven't talked about. I have just a lot of games to get through before we kind of have our Kingdom Hearts couple weeks or special.
Jeez. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and I just got all the Spider-Man DLC. I finally downloaded it and started on that, which has been fun. I won't get too much into that just because we've talked so much about Spider-Man on this podcast, but that's cool. Definitely worth getting as far as just adding, different part of the story made for after you beat the game kind of thing. So it's post all the game story, which is fun. So just adds another little factor to that game, which is cool. And then, but like I was like, I need to get that because Kingdom Hearts is going to come out, and then in 7 weeks my wife's due with a baby. So after that, I'm not going to have too much time to play games.
No, you won't. But it's funny. I don't know how we've gotten on this fighting game kick too. But Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is another one that we were kind of looking at, and it is like the game that we've been thinking. You know, I know especially you've been thinking about. This looks great. And it's $20 on launch. Like,
dude,
what a game.
So good. And $40 for the deluxe edition. Definitely so excited about this. They're touting it with the characters like Lord Draken, which is like a new version of the comic books they're doing, and he's like an evil Tommy, which is pretty cool. So we talked a little bit about that in the Power Rangers podcast. But it's funny because I was like, oh man, I'd love to see like a newer version of this game, like this and that. And you're like, yeah, I just don't think the following's there. And then literally this week this came out, I texted you. I was like, dude, I said this on the podcast there, and it's here.
The craziest thing is it's coming out on all the platforms too. Like it.
Yeah.
So I am ordering the graphic novel as soon as we get off here, so I can join this revolution, because this game looks great. And like I said, they're doing it right. They're not like blowing your wallet up, and it seems like people are into this. Man. I'm down.
Yeah, we'll have some fun with it for sure when it comes out in April too. It's really soon that it's coming up. So.
Yeah, and you were right on this one. I don't think I love it. I don't think it shows how in touch I am. I don't think there's the following, and then all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah, and really, this whole comic book thing has opened up a whole new world for this franchise. And like I said earlier, Hasbro acquired Power Rangers, so they're trying to reamp and give the whole series some new life. They signed on for a sequel to the movie. I don't know if it's going to be like a reboot or another sequel or whatever, but they're going to make another movie, which is cool too. So,
man, yep, very nice. I don't know how we turned into the slightly Power Rangers podcast, but yeah. I'm liking this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, definitely, this is just exciting news because this is a game that. Exciting for me, I guess, but like for a lot of the fans in the community and things like that, it's just a game that's going to be that a lot of people have been asking for a long time. So,
yeah, and it's not just a reboot of the mobile one that everyone's into, but it's a fresh game.
Yeah, but it's made by the developers of that game, which is cool. So it looks pretty similar, but I think I'm excited to see some more gameplay in the trailers and things like that. But they're paying the original Green Ranger, Jason David Frank, to like really tout the game too. So he's really on board with it and everything too. So
cool. Another thing that was kind of announced, or I don't know if it was announced or if it was like a plug, is the original Mewtwo Strikes Back movie, the original Pokemon movie when it came out. I can't even remember what the original one was, but I was there, and my mom took me out of school. It was
that's
to take. Yeah, she was the best, and it's getting a CGI, or it looks like it's getting a CGI makeover. And comes out in July in Japan, so we'll probably get it a couple months later, 2-3 months later. Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Were you up for a CGI remake, or you want something new?
No, it looks cool. I just recently watched my son Axel. He's really into Pokemon right now. And so I just watched the I Choose You movie with him, which was kind of like a adding to the original story a little bit. And so that was really cool, but I'm totally plugged in with this. I'm hoping we see it before the end of the year, and
I'm sure we will. It's normally about like 3 to 4 months behind if it does well, especially.
Yeah. They, released this teaser trailer. Pokemon Japan published it December 31st, of last year, so this is pretty recent news that this is going to happen. It's coming out in the summertime in Japan, so hopefully we'll get it a couple months later.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm always ready for more stuff. I think I Choose You is fine, except Pikachu spoke and it ruined the movie.
yeah, no bueno. So they're just trying to give Pikachu this whole persona, and I'm not about that life.
No, I'm down with. I think the detective movie is going to be a great opening to that world, and I think it'll be fine. But Man, whenever in I Choose You, Pikachu, there's videos of hundreds of videos of people in the theater when they're all watching it. They're diehard fans, just like I am. And then he, Pikachu's like, "I love you," and you just hear, "What the?"
Yeah, you're like, no, thanks.
No, stop.
Just stop right now. Just go away. Oh man, good times. Yeah. So anyway, just the little bit of the trailer with Mewtwo flying through the air. It looks pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see how they do the Pokemon in CGI is pretty cool, but it'll be interesting to see how they do the humans, like Ash and all that in CGI. So
yeah. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. It's due for just because they're refreshing it in CGI. I'm sure they'll revamp the music and everything. I'm fine with that because it's been a good enough time where, and that movie does and always will be in the heart of everyone because it's the first movie ever to come out in that. In Pokemon.
Yeah,
so I think it deserves a CGI
update.
Yeah, update. I'm down.
Kind of like the first games with how they did Let's Go. They did the first game, redid the first games in like a, updated look. I don't really think I ever need to see those games again updated. But
no, it's been enough. I'm done.
Yeah. So, but I'm cool with how they did it all. And this one, in similar fashion, they're kind of doing this movie like that, which will be cool.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down. But anyway, that's just everyone be on the lookout for that if you're interested. And hopefully, if it's summer in Japan, it should be fall or winter here for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's cool. Let's see. Was there anything else? I saw Glass today. The movie
review.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm just interested to see like how you feel about it. I thought it was good. It was interesting to say the least.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Let me see it. I mean, we can talk about it next week's pod because I'll me, I'll have a strong opinion one way or another.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a long time since I've seen Unbreakable, so I think I need to just watch that again. But I really did like Split. I know the reviews were split on it, haha. But I did like Split, and James McAvoy is just incredible. He's just an incredible actor. I mean, just in this movie and that movie. So that was definitely the bright spot of Glass. But the story and everything, I thought was good. I enjoyed the movie. So
yeah, the audience. It's real weird because there's a couple movies out right now, and in general, when the audience and the critics are split, I can go either way. Like sometimes I'm just like, oh, the audience was so right. Like, what are the critics thinking? Like, oh, there's not enough blood, sex, and curse words in this movie. That's why they didn't like it. Like realistically, it's just sometimes they'll just rate a movie because it doesn't have enough like, I don't know, just all that stuff. But other times the critics are really right, but I'm normally with the audience. If I think the thing that's probably gonna be bad or has against this movie is Unbreakable and Split were fantastic. So if this isn't as good as those two movies, then I think that will detract probably the worst from it. Is if it's really, and I don't know if they are like you can tell me or not, but if it's not, if it doesn't live up because it has some pretty big shoes to fill because both those movies are really really good.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, and it kind of just brought the whole thing together, put a nice bow on it. I saw Samuel L. Jackson on Jimmy Fallon the other night. He was kind of talking about it a little bit and how he was just like, when they brought this movie to Unbreakable to me, M. Night Shyamalan said this is a 3-movie deal. This is going to be 3 movies. And he's like, so 18 years later, I'm like, where's the other movies? So it's cool that he actually went through and finished all the movies and all that. And M. Night Shyamalan has said before that he just could not find an actor to play Kevin, the guy from Split. So
yeah, the character that James McAvoy plays.
Yeah, so was kind of the hold up on the whole thing. But
the Beast.
He's incredible, just an incredible actor. They're all good actors. In the movie, so I'll be interested, and we'll talk a little more about it once you see it. I just don't. I feel like if I talk more about it, I'll just ruin it for you. So I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I already read some reviews, and it started to like slight spoilers, and I just turned it off because I want to go into it fresh. And I hate I don't want anything to influence my personal opinion until after I think about it for a while, and then I can read other ones like, oh yeah, that makes sense, but no, got to walk into it fresh.
Yep, I agree.
So
okay, so a little bit on what we're gonna play next week. Have you had any thought to this?
Oh no, we already went there, and I totally didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I kind of have a suggestion.
Good.
About we just clear our palate a little bit and do some Donkey Kong.
Oh, we talked about that before. I completely agree. I think we're up for a refresh of especially like a side-scrolling adventure game with a lot of good memories. So let's do that.
Donkey Kong Country. Do you want to just like start at the first one, or do you want to like
no
go to the third or the
we should do
second,
first, 100%.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I'm down with that. So we will do that for Super Nintendo.
Or should we do? I mean, no, we should do first. I was said the second one was really stinking good too. I just know that the first and second one, I have like 10 out of 10 in my mind. But let's just do number one because it was
the only thing I like about the second one is Diddy Kong is in it. So.
Oh yeah, believe me, I'm there. Donkey Kong Country. Let's see what year that was. This is 94, and then Donkey Kong Country Returns is. This was 90. Oh wait, this is 3DS or 3D. Country, is it Country 2 or what's the second one?
Yeah. I think
it's just Donkey Kong Country 2. And that was 95. So I'm actually up for either one of those. They're relatively similar games. They're just, side-scroller platformers. So
you know what? Donkey Kong Country only starred Diddy Kong. And they were trying to save Donkey Kong. So
yes.
I think the first one
there's Dixie and Diddy in number 2. And then number 1, you get Donkey and Diddy, I believe.
Yeah, so let's just do the first one.
Yeah.
Let's just do the first one. Yep. So I'm good.
I'm expecting to almost score a perfect game for this one, so I'm really interested to play it again.
I hope so, man, after this week. And
God, we need a refresh. I hated this game.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? You take the good with the bad. If we just reviewed all the awesome old games, this wouldn't be just like this wouldn't be a fair podcast. So.
Yeah, very true. If we just went down the top 10 games of, Super Nintendo, NES, and Genesis, then every game would be like 10 out of. Well, not everyone, but a lot of them would be pretty high. But
yeah, so I'm just gonna, let's use this one to kind of clear our palate, and then, I'm gonna pull. Well, I think we should just pull a really random game out of the hat for the next episode. So, but we'll get into that later. Yeah.
There's some hidden gems in all of these old consoles. We should definitely try to get into one of those as well. Something that didn't get the limelight, but was probably pretty good. So let's try one of those after this.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Well, this has been, fairly quick episode, but it's nice to be back. Nice. Thanks everybody for listening once again, and we are going to get this going weekly again. So.
Yes, absolutely. Get back on our schedule. It's been hard after those holidays. I had to work off all those, off all the food and
yeah, man,
wedding cake I ate.
Yeah, my wife's Korean, and so my in-laws, every time we go see them, they just make just all kinds of Korean barbecue and just like delicious foods that are really bad for you, but really delicious at the same time. So I definitely feel your pain there. I need to start working out again. So
yeah, I'm going to be at the beach in a month, so I had to get back on the schedule.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool, man. Well, I will chat with you next week. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye. See ya. If you'd like to send us a message, you can email us at kitgpodcast@gmail.com or tweet us at kitgpodcast on Twitter.